here to share the story of my niece, Abrielle. It just seems like a senseless death, an avoidable, senseless death of a beautiful, vibrant girl. And yeah, it is hard to make sense of, and it's hard to find any good in it. But if there is any possibility for good, if anybody else can hear the story and get something from it, then that's all I can hope for. Abrielle was a beautiful, amazing young girl. She was a singer. She had a beautiful voice. She loved to dance. She wanted to be a ballerina when she was little.
Get back a little bit.
So we put her in ballet and tap dance. She was just always singing and dancing. And she was a very, very, just a beautiful girl. And she had a really good heart. And she was hilarious. She could make you laugh on your worst day. She would do voice accents and things like that, just anything to make you laugh. And she was really, really funny, and just an easy person to talk to. And yeah, she had a hard life. Her father passed away when she was 16 from fentanyl overdose as well. She also was unfortunately abused as a child by her other side of the family. So she had a hard life, and she struggled with depression, especially as a young teen into her young adulthood. She was struggling quite a bit. But even with that struggle, she always would have a big smile and try to make everyone else happy and make everyone else laugh. I think that made her happy to see everyone else laughing and everyone else happy. I think that she used to numb the pain that she was in. She did try at one point going for mental health help, but unfortunately the resources are just not up to par, at least not in Prince William County where we took her. And then, I think that she slowly started numbing her depression and anxiety with Xanax. She met this boy who was selling Xanax and who was in that scene. And he kind of introduced her to that lifestyle. And I think initially she just started to try to drown out the emotions with Xanax. And then over time, she just started using other things, I suppose. We're not really even 100% sure, to be honest. When she first started the Xanax thing, she kind of pulled herself away from the family for a little while. So we hadn't seen her for a bit. When she started coming back around, we figured out that she was using fentanyl. And then I tried to get her into a Suboxone program, and she told me that she was in it, that she was doing really good. I was so proud of her. We just went on a cruise to Bermuda the week before she died, and I saw her take the Suboxone on the cruise, so I thought that she was doing well in that program, and I really didn't know that she was even thinking about fentanyl anymore, and that's the only reason why I had her back around, because I have kids, so I, don't want anything fentanyl related in my household, but I thought she was doing really good. And so she had asked me if she could come spend the weekend with me, and I let her come. And yeah, like I said, I thought that she was doing a lot better. She seemed like she was doing a lot better Everybody said it. Everybody who was around her. So she was staying with me, and the night before she died, we stayed up really late watching TV. We were binge watching The 100, which is like a CW show about like the end of the world. And so we stayed up really late watching that, and I had to be up for work really early the next morning at like 6. And so she eventually went to sleep in my guest room. And because she had been staying with me the last few days, we were in a little routine where she would stay up late and she would sleep in late. So I got up and, did my thing, started my work day. And then usually by like 12:01, she would be waking up. And I noticed she hadn't woken up yet. It was like 12:30. So I started to, get a little bit nervous about that. And I went to check on her. And the door was locked to the guest room. And that was the first time that the door had been locked since she had been kind of staying with me off and on. So immediately I just froze up and, I got extremely nervous. I have a key to unlock the door. And I unlocked the door and went in, and I found her slumped over, and she apparently had already been deceased for about 12 hours. So as soon as she went to bed that night, after we were done watching those shows, she must have, and she was smoking the fentanyl. She was putting it on like a piece of foil and smoking it. So yeah, she must have done it, the night before. And when I found her, she was already cold and, and everything. And I still ran to get my Narcans, and I still administered 2 doses of Narcan on her and started, trying to revive her, even though I knew it was too late. But yeah, and then I called, for emergency. And they were asking, if I wanted to do CPR. And I was like, I know that it won't help, but yeah, I will. 'Cause what else are you supposed to do? In that situation, it's just, you still hold on to that hope. You still cling to that hope,
So how are you doing now?
Not too good, honestly. I can't sleep. I can't get the image out of my mind. And because we were not on good terms with her mother and her mom's side of the family, we weren't able to see her laid to rest, unfortunately. And I really had hoped that I would be able to see her at rest, because of how she looked when I found her. I just wanted to see her in and at peace, So that was really hard, and yeah, it's just been really difficult. And to go a little bit more into her backstory, I raised her. I'm her, her aunt, and both her mom and dad her dad was really young. He was only 16 or 17, I think, when he got her mom pregnant. Her mom was only like 19. They were both really young, and they were already both into a not so good lifestyle, we should say. So when Abby was born, I kind of took over responsibility for her, even though I was only 15 myself. I was the one waking up in the night with her. I was the one feeding her. I was the one bathing her. And I took that responsibility very to heart. And she was attached to my hip for the first 4 years of her life, basically. And then it wasn't until she was about 4, the summer between year 4 and 5, her mom met a new person who, we'll just say he didn't like us and no longer wanted her to have any visitation with us, with our side of the family. So he kind of made it so that she wasn't able to come over and see us anymore. And we had to go to the courts, and my mom had to get, grandparent rights. And so slowly but surely we did start getting, like scheduled visitations with her. And that went on from the time she was 5 until the day she turned 18, when she called us and asked us to come pick her up. And she basically, moved back with us at that point. And she had opened up to me quite a lot in the last few weeks about the things that she went through in that, and in the other home that she was in. And so, yeah, she was just a broken little girl. And she was beaten down every chance possible. Honestly, I wish that I would have had more of the uncomfortable conversations with her, that I kind of was like afraid to have, because I didn't want to push her away. I didn't want to, say, hey, take this drug test and let me see how you're doing. And like, let's have a check-in and everything like that. I didn't want to push her away. But I think the takeaway is to have those uncomfortable conversations, that it can happen to anybody, and it is happening to everybody. Young people who are struggling with their mental health, just to be extra careful and to make sure that, people aren't coming in and offering them these Band-Aids of, oh, you could take this, Xanax, or you could take this and you'll feel better. Temporarily, yeah, but, it's not the solution.